Guys, welcome back to our channel. We're so excited to have you again. Supporters of regulation of social media is currently on the increase right now. It all started with Lai Mohammed when he came up and talked about regulating the social media. And before we knew, the Lagos lawmakers also join the queue to regulate social media. Right now, the governors, the executive of the states, the governors have also lent their voice seeking for censorship of the social media. And this is really shocking for some of us because it seems as if the Northerners are always interested in a kind of archaic way of doing things. And the reason is what we are going to discuss right away. But first of all, let's just look at what the northern governors have to say. And the news have it that the northern governor, under the aegis of the Nigerian Northern Governors Forum, have called for the censorship of the social media. The governor said the social media have a devastating effect after their meeting on Monday. They also vowed to keep Nigeria one, declaring that the unity of the country was non-negotiable. The northern governor condemned the NSAS protest, which they claim was meant to remove President Muhammadu Buhari from office. Part of the communique issue after the meeting reads, the meeting took note of the devastating effect of the uncontrolled social media in spreading fake news, therefore, call for major control mechanism and censorship of the social media practice in Nigeria. Meetings raises attention on the need to keep strict watch on the Federal Capital Territory to guard against unwarranted and destructive protests to safeguard critical assets of the nation. Meeting commends commend the National Assembly and the President in being proactive in addressing the issue of NSAS protests across the nation. The meeting resolved to support the Nigerian police force to save the country better and call for the strengthening of trust between the people and the police. The meeting expressed concern over the low level involvement of relevant stakeholders in the implementation program of government and call for the relevant agencies to review implementation strategy to make for maximum impact and benefit. The meeting reject and condemn the subversive action of the NSAS protests, the superlative agitation and other change regime action outside the ballot box soon take advantage of the peaceful protests to push for their separative agenda. The meeting endorses the indivisibility, indissolubility, and oneness of the nation. Wow, but we're focused on this issue of regulation of social media. For me, I don't have a problem with them regulating social media, but it should be a regional thing. The North had always wanted to be behind. When we're talking about this whole issue, it reminds me of or the issue of Roga. Nigerians suggested ranching. It is the modern way of taking care of cattle. But this same North refused it. They still believe that the archaic way of doing things is the ideal way of doing things. When you're talking about the effect of social media, the truth of the matter is when you said social media is encouraging fake news and all of that, the reason is because the government is not accountable. The government has refused to be accountable, and that is why we keep on seeing fake news evolving from every side. If, for example, the president every one week or two weeks, or whenever there are issues of national interest, issues of national importance, issues that the people are crying about, the president steps out and spend time to talk about this issue in a press briefing. All of this issue of fake news will not be there. It will be, even if it will be there, it will be reduced to the barest minimum. That's the truth. It will be reduced to the barest minimum. But we notice that oftentimes there is no room for accountability. Sometimes we notice a lot of lies. Okay, for example, let's look at just concluded or the issue that was in discourse last week, talking about the Nollywood actor Desmond Elliot. When the issue came out, he came and swore by his life that he never spoke about social media. It was almost crying. We didn't know that that young man was just acting Nollywood film. He was almost crying. And he said it was fake news, that they are doing everything to tarnish his political image. Only for few minutes or few hours to pass by, and we saw the video of him talking about censorship of social media, talking about Nigerian youths who are on the social media talking as being children. Now, hey, what are we talking about? When there is no truth among the leaders, what do you expect? You're going to see fake news on the increase. But if the leaders are accountable, if the leaders can be trusted, their words can be trusted. Up till today, as we are talking, we are yet to arrive at who actually sent the military, despite the fact that the military has come up to tell Nigerians that it was Lagos State governor or government that requested for their presence. Up till today, the issue is yet to be resolved. Nobody can own up to it. I was the one that sent this military. This is it, this is it, this is it. Nobody is ready to talk about it. And with all of this, how do you expect Nigerians to keep quiet without talking in the social media? Okay, for example, now look at what happened today, where a soldier was seen flogging a woman just because of that she dressed indecently according to his senses. And also, we saw a nice young man whom he forcefully shaved his hair. Now, without the social media, how would we know that those things are happening? If there was no video and such thing was being reported, everybody would start shouting, it's fake news, so fake news, fake news, fake news, fake news. They're trying to incite trouble and all of that. But there and then we saw a video. The importance of social media cannot be overemphasized. I tell you the whole truth. It's overly important that you just can't sweep it under the carpet. The victories that we have gotten in democracy in Nigeria, I can tell you that reasonable percentage of it is traceable to the activities on social media. And that's the truth. Most of them who are clamoring that they should not be social media and all of that, some of them, their corruption level is up there, so high, so high. They just know that, and some of them are power drunk. They just can't imagine, people just doing things anyhow, and they can't stop the people because of social media. Imagine this issue of protest that we are seeing today. Just imagine if there was no social media. I tell you the truth that those boys wouldn't have left alive. This is what we are talking about. Social media is there to help Nigerians curb some of the excesses that we have in our system. Social media is there to ensure that certain things that had been played down upon is handled vigorously. So what are we saying? If the northern governors feel that it's ideal for regulation of the social media, they want it to be done, okay, no problem. Let it be done in the north. But for us here in the south, this is 21st century. And I tell you the truth that millions of Nigerians are making money on social media. The reason why it seems that despite the fact that we are suffering, unemployment rate is increasing on a geometrical progression, but yet Nigerians are still smiling is because a lot of people are making money on the social media. Without the social media, most of the sales that most people have, it wouldn't have been possible. We've seen how crime against humanity have been curbed by social media. What are you telling me? What are you telling me? I think at this point, Nigerians cannot sit back and watch this thing happen. Social media, damn too important, brother. There's no way you can regulate it. And if you have to regulate it, it must be done in a very reasonable way. But for you to stop usage of social media, it's not possible. Because Nigeria, we are in the 21st century. If you feel you're uncomfortable with social media, check out. That's just it. I'd like to leave it there. Go to our comment section. Let us interact. What do you have to say about these formidable force rising up against social media regulation in Nigeria?